Welcome to another episode of Eberhart Outdoors. I'm standing on the end of my dock, which is right across the street from my house. I live on a lake, and I just wanted to do a short video as an intro to my YouTube videos on my new book series. It took me 18 months and about 5,000 hours to write this 3-book series. It was going to be like 700 pages, so I had to do it in a 3-volume set. It was just too much information to put in one book. So this is book volume 1. This is book volume 2. And this is book volume 3. Within these books there's 27 chapters, and I'll just name them. Hunting Pressure Realities, Saddle Hunting, 4 segments of the season, Post-season Scouting, Early Season and Lull, Pre and Peak Rut, Post-rut and Late Season, Rut Staging Areas, Hunting from the Ground, Hunting Standing Corn, Open to Hunting Public Lands, Suburban Hunting, Location Preparation Tools, Location Preparation, DIY Freelance Hunting, Scent Control, Pre-season Scouting and In-season Scouting, Pre-season Speed Tours, which is something I've been doing for about 20-some years, Motion Cameras, Fake Hunting Tactics, What to Take Hunting, Hunting in Inclement Weather, Recovering Bow-shot Whitetails, Travel Hunting, Hunting Access, and Health and Conditioning. And I had some help on these books, a little bit of help. I think there's 78 kill stories, short condensed kill stories in here to lend credibility to what you're reading at the time. There's probably 150 photos. There's photos of all the deer with the stories. And Mark Kenyon contributed a little bit. Andy May, Garrett Prawl from DIY Sportsman, Ernie Power, and Greg Godfrey also helped me write a little bit of the saddle hunting chapter. So there's a ton of information. It's very seriously detailed information, whether you're hunting hill country, ag country, big timber, plains out west. There's information on all of those because we have hunted all of those types of even plantations in the south, pine plantations. So there's tons of information in here, and the goal is to make you a serious threat to mature bucks, no matter where you're hunting. That is the end goal for what I have done my entire life as far as writing and trying to give the best instructional information that I can give. And these are available on Amazon in paperback, hardcover, which is a collector series. It's very limited on the hardcovers. It's also available on audio, and I did the narration on the audio videos as well as edited them, the audio. So that would be Kindle and audiobooks, and that's on Amazon. Hopefully we'll get it on Spotify in the near future. So they're also, I should also say this, the paperback and hardcover books are also available on tethered.com. And I think they're a little bit less money on Tethered. I think they're a little less than on Amazon. It's also written in a form where if you're a novice hunter, you will still be able, it's so detailed, you'll still be able to understand everything that's in these. And also, probably the last thing I want to mention is I have done probably 100 podcasts, and quite a few of them, the links to those podcasts are on my website, and my website is deer-john.net. I'm sure if you Googled my name, that would pop up. I hope everybody becomes a successful hunter or is a successful hunter, because it kind of changes your life if you're consistently successful. And hey, that's the goal. So thank you for watching my YouTube videos, and good hunting.
I'm in the process of making an entry-exit route through corn, and if you notice, all the corn stalks that I've kicked over with my feet, usually one on each side, they're at 30 to 45 degree angles, so that when they harvest the corn, the farmer's not going to lose any corn. This is late enough in the year where it's done growing. And I also take my trusty saw as I'm coming through here, I've already done this part of it. You can walk in nice and quietly. It's dead calm out right now, and I'm not making any noise. When I come across something I may brush against with my body while I'm walking in, I clip it off with my saw. My regular, long, bladed camp saw. Nice, quiet entry. Otherwise, when you're walking through corn, especially perpendicular to the rows, it's going to be noisy on a calm day. See that nice route right down through there. The corn goes up there quite a ways, but gives you a nice clean entry route. Quiet. Now I have to go back because I have some work to do back here in the woods. So I'm coming back through this cornfield that I've already cleared an entry route through. This is pre-season. I'm doing a speed tour. And red oak right here. And it's obviously dropping acorns. Quite a few. Matter of fact, and there's some deer tracks right there. Some deer tracks right there, and it just rained yesterday, so these are fresh from last evening. And there's a scrape. So you just opened that up this morning. Last night after the rain stopped. I have a tree prepped real close to the scrape within shooting distance, but I'm going to walk the edge. There's another hunter that hunts here, two other hunters actually, and one of them has a tree right down there, probably 70 yards. There's another red oak down there. So I don't go that direction. I hunt this side over here. I'm here just checking for acorns, and as you can see, is covered in them. And these are reds. There isn't really much for white oaks over here, so they consume the hell out of these red oak acorns. So there's fresh sign there in a new scrape, and we're going to check out some other stuff. And you can see the tracks coming down through here. Lots of tracks. And again, it rained yesterday, so these tracks were all made either last evening or last night, because it did not rain last night. They end up coming under this other oak. And it's dropping acorns as well. You can see them laying on the ground. Oh, there's a nice track right there. That's a pretty big track. Now, explaining on that track right there. If you notice on that track, it has dew claws where all these other tracks here do not. So that's a heavy deer. That's a big deer. It's also a long track. And if you notice, the tips of the front hooves are pointed. Now, when it gets later into the rut, or even into mid to late October, if that's a buck, those would be rounded off on the tips. But because they haven't been scraping, they grow like fingernails, and now they're pointed. So that is likely a buck because of how big it is. But give that another 3 weeks when they start scraping, and instead of being pointed like those front hooves are, that will be rounded off if it's a buck. Could be a doe, could be a big doe, but more than likely, because of the weight to make the big deep dew claw marks in that pretty hard sandy soil. Oh, take that back. Check that out right there. It's not much to look at, but that's a scrape. I mean, a buck scraped the ground right there. I'm not going to say it's going to be an active scrape. If there were going to be any scrapes along this edge, this is where it would be. It's because this branch is low enough. That's head height. So it's an easy licking branch to work. Yeah, he's nipped off. There's a couple little things here nipped off. That's nipped off. And then over here on this one here was scraped a little bit more, and then just a bunch of deer walked through it. So, and there's the branches right there that he nipped off. There's 3 of them, 3 or 4. So, there's 2 spots. There will be big scrapes here within 2 weeks. These will be opened up pretty big, and you can see the acorns laying around in there. Up on another scrape here, and this one is probably the same buck that did that other one. It's only 10 yards, 15 yards apart, and you can see the licking branch right there. He worked that either last night or this morning, and you can tell because none of these other things are touched. That's a fresh scrape. Probably by the end of the season, as you can see on these branches, these have been scraped or used as licking branches in the past years because they're all busted off on the ends. These will be used as licking branches as well. But right now, because this is a fresh scrape, there's just that one, and that's a new licking branch. He didn't use that last. They haven't used that one before. But that's the licking branch. You see that branch down there, that dead branch, and it's dead because there's the rub. The little buck is rubbed that little autumn olive branch coming out of there and busted it off at the top. There's the rub over there on that side too, on that little side tree. So not the kind of sign I'm looking for. Look at, I mean, there's just a ton of deer tracks here. There's a lot of deer in this area. Michigan has a ton of deer. I don't think there's a state I've ever been in where I've seen as many deer as I have in Michigan. Not even close. Just don't get many big ones. Too many hunters. They get shot off too much during gun season and bow season. Mostly gun. And Michigan's just getting into this let them go, let them grow deal, you know, which I don't care if they do or not. I wish it was a 1 buck state. But man, lots of tracks here. You know, you get states like Ohio and Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, you know, those states have been into, you know, management and, you know, letting bucks grow for years and years and years. So lots of people let 1.5 and 2.5-year-old bucks go. That rarely happens during gun season in Michigan. If somebody gets a shot at a 4-point, it's usually dead. So we don't have a lot of 2.5s and very, very, very few 3.5s on regular property. Obviously, there's managed properties in Michigan as well. But look at the tracks. These are all from in the last 18 hours. It's like I've always preached, and I tend to preach a lot and a lot of people hate that I do, but I'm pretty confident in what I'm saying. All the sign in the world is absolutely worthless if it's not made during daylight hours. So if you see mature buck sign and it's not in an area that's conducive and has the adequate security cover for a daytime visit, that sign was made at nighttime. Nighttime sign is worthless. Sitting over nighttime mature buck activity is absolutely freaking worthless. So make sure you think about that before you just set up on any sign. It has to have adequate security cover, which obviously this is, these tall green weeds in that corn. And it has to have adequate security cover around the area, the kill zone, and adequate security cover to a, transition security cover to a bedding area, which this cornfield is a bedding area. I saw those branches from 80 yards away. Figured if there was any scrapes here, that's where they'd be, and there's 2 of them. So we got 2 scrapes under this tree, and there's 2 scrapes under that corner tree, right where my entry-exit route touches the woods. And that's heavy security cover, just heavy security cover. Corn on one side and trees and brush on the other. I'm coming down here into this swamp by the cattails, and got a sign of a pretty good buck right here. See where he rubbed on this bottom branch. Thrashed it up pretty good, actually. Ripped part of it off. You can see it laying down there on the ground. And busted it. Right there you can see tine marks. It's kind of interesting because he rubbed this and thrashed it. Never touched the tree. Just did it out on the branch. Busted that one up enough where the leaves are dying on the end. So that was done probably a week ago. Same with this branch here. And you can see the cattails up there. Another scrape. Like 10 yards from my tree. Rained on it, so it hasn't been worked a lot. But you can see, I busted off the licking branch. This has been a scrape in the past. You can see where that was nipped off. It was nipped off. These were nipped off here before, but I opened that up. It's rained on it, so you can't see any scrape marks. It's probably a week old or so. But this would be conducive of a daytime visit because he's got exit security cover right here tight, and he's got standing corn, well, tall ferns between the cattails and the standing cornfield. If he's coming out of here, I could see him doing it in the daylight. He could definitely work this one in the daytime. Did not get worked since it rained yesterday. And I've got a tree real close. Also, there's a runway going right down the edge of those cattails. Go down through there. And I got probably a 17, 18 yard shot to that. That's a cool spot. Never shot a buck here. Well, I shot that wide 10 point up there along that edge when the corn came out to the edge of the trees.
This is the photo of the 21.5-inch inside spread 10 point I took in 2015 along the edge of these red oaks butting up to this standing cornfield.
Walk my entry exit route out that I made through the corn. Now, because this last section you can see the deer have been eating it, this didn't grow very tall. And we got a nice quiet route. Going perpendicular. You don't have to do this when you're going down the corn rows parallel with the corn stalks. When it's going perpendicular, if you're hunting anywhere near the edge where you're going to exit the corn, which I am, you have to make yourself a quiet entry and exit route. And it's dead quiet right now. So when there's any kind of breeze, there's no way deer would hear me walking through here. It's a pretty clear path through here, as you can see. I don't think I need to show it anymore. I think you get the point.